Hello, my name is LoG, and welcome to the final part of this string skipping power-up. As usual, if you enjoy this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And now let's do a real quick recap of how part 1 flows into part 2, which then flows back into part 1. All right, before we start the final backing track, let's run through the entire thing, showing you how everything connects. Remember, the end of part 1 is the beginning of part 2. The end of part 2 is the beginning of part 1, which creates just this big circle that we're going to be doing for about 3 minutes over this backing track. So the whole thing sounds like this connected. I'll run it a couple times. Beginning. Beginning. Etc. So we're going to be running this, like I said, around 3 minutes, maybe a little more, from 90 to 140. So whichever technique you're choosing to practice, at 140, you're going to be pushing it. It's not super fast, but it's a fairly decent tempo for this particular technique. So, I'm doing it in the way that I find to be most efficient, which is picking fingers. You can practice this however you want. I honestly might come back later on and practice this or use this power up to practice strictly alternate picking. I personally think that's the most difficult way to play this, and I see a lot of value technically with doing it like that, but I also see a lot of value musically, meaning, not really thinking about the physical technique. I see a lot of musical value with practicing with hammer-ons, whether you're picking with hammer-ons or using pick and fingers with hammer-ons, because it creates a nice little shape. When you do it like that, those top notes really pop out nice and strong. Like if I play this, you really hear bum bum gum gum. Bum, 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 bum. You really hear those notes, which I like. I like hearing those little accents. So again, all these things, little things to think about while you're practicing this, but figure out how you want to do it for now. Come back to the video, experiment with other techniques whenever you want. But now let's get on to this final backing track, which again runs from 90 to 140. right, that does it for this string skipping power-up. This is definitely a cool sound that can sometimes seem very awkward or difficult to achieve at first, but once you practice it and kind of target it with these variety of techniques that we talked about today, it can really add a lot of nice kind of different angular, colorful sounds to your playing. As usual, if you enjoy this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below, and I'll see you all in the next one.